So hello everybody. We've got several people in already, and uh, my name is Brandon Ellrich with Brandon Ellrich is so gay, and KR Byers, and we are talking about Substack. What's going well for us? What maybe isn't going as well, and we're approaching the end of the year, so kind of looking forward to 2026 and thinking about what we'll do, if we'll change anything, and maybe what we're changing. We've already kind of talked about, you've talked about a little bit about what you're already kind of implementing a little bit, writing different things, uh, that you've already started. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about some of that too. But
Yeah,
so what
absolutely.
are what are
Go ahead.
things that you see that have worked well for you this year?
Um, well, inflammatory politics can always get you a few likes, but it doesn't get you loyal subscribers. That's the one thing I've noticed. And so if you're sitting there, in my experimenting over the last few months, if I post a bunch of stuff that's just, basically, fuck Trump and, you know, whatever, then it tends to like garnish some, likes and
Yeah,
some, subscribes and follows. But then I noticed that the next time that I say something that isn't, particularly fuck Trump, then all of a sudden I lose those same subscribers.
yeah,
And so I've kind of tried to veer away from just, fuck Trump posts. But I mean, ultimately, fuck Trump. But I tried to veer away from those posts, because it's not
right.
beneficial for me in the long term. Plus, ultimately, I want to be a creator who creates things that are fun and give people an escape. And it's really hard to engage in escapism if it's, about reality. So it's a little bit of a
Right.
difficult thing to do.
Yeah, and plus, um, I think Trump is not going to be here forever, and
No.
so you're going to be writing. If you're always writing about him, what's going to happen when that's done? You're going to be. I mean, you're going to have to pivot or something, come up with something else
Right.
because nobody's going to care anymore. So,
Well, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's kind of what I thought too. I'm like, well, what do I do next year or the year after or whenever, he's done in office or he dies or whatever? Do I just continue to beat a dead horse almost literally? Or do I
right.
shift to, just as an example, fuck Biden politics? Do I, follow every Republican around just saying fuck these guys? I mean, like, what do I do? And so that's kind of where I came to the conclusion that I can't continue to engage with just this simple, like, inflammatory political posts. There's no longevity to it. You're right. It's completely reliant on him being in the spotlight. And if he isn't all of a sudden, then your platform dies.
Yeah. And well, one thing you're doing is like with the the current topics, like something in science, in the world of science that you're writing about, and those are that's always something current. So you can always do that because there's always new developments in different parts of the world and stuff, and you can always write about those, of course. So I think that kind of thing works. And one thing I try to do is write some what what's referred to as evergreen content, which
Yeah.
it's not about a current event or something, but it's maybe like a humorous article that can be published at any time, and it's going to be it's going to be funny, it's going to be relevant or whatever. That it's not dependent on the time of the year or the the person who's currently in office or what's going on currently in the world. It's just a funny post. Like one
Yeah.
of the things that I posted not too well, I guess it's been a few months ago. Things this cow is thinking. And I took a picture of this cow out in the field, and I just wrote a bunch of funny things like things this cow is probably thinking, just crazy stupid stuff,
Yeah.
but obviously I can post that I could have posted that at any time. It's not dependent on this cow's life or what's going on in the world of the bovines or whatever. So yeah, I try to come up with stuff like that to have, especially like if I've already got a bunch of articles, I'll try to post or I'll try to write something and keep it in my drafts where I'm like, just in case I need it later. Like if I run out of ideas, I'm like, well, I've got this, so I'll throw that out there, at least until I think of something else, you know?
Oh yeah, no, I get that. My draft section of Substack is 3 pages long, just with different
Well,
all the
you've got,
different
yeah.
drafts.
Yeah, you've got more than I do.
I, it's one of those things where I'll write an entire article and then I'll like put it into Substack because I usually write in Google Docs, and so I'll
Yeah.
put it into Substack and I'll be like, I'll read through it and I'll be like, nah, dumb. Exit. Go start something new. So it's one of those,
Yeah. I've,
self-defeating
I,
purposes, but it's there if I need it.
yeah, yeah. I've had a few of those, especially on, because I wrote on Medium before this. And, oh, hello, Lucid Hex. Um, I have several drafts that I like, and it's an idea. It's like could be funny, and I start it, and it's just not going anywhere. I'm like, but I just leave it in the draft. I was like, well, maybe I'll come back to it later and maybe add to it. Maybe I can make something out of it. But I've got several drafts in my Medium folder. I've got a few in Substack. Good thing about December for me is that's so easy for me. Christmas, holidays, stuff about winter. I can always write something funny. I've got the rest of my articles for December already written and they're scheduled to be published. And I only
Sweet.
write two a week, which isn't I don't think is too taxing. But especially since I've got all these lives going on, I'm glad to have that part done. They're all scheduled and ready to go. But
Yeah,
I
that's good.
write a letter to Santa, and I wrote a one about going to the mall and twerking on his lap and things like that. But so those are coming out later in the month. But yeah, December has always been an easy time for me because I can always come up with something for Christmas, and I'm writing a letter to Santa for my cats and stuff like that. It's just I just feel like it's like an endless supply. But once January gets here, we gotta come up with something else.
New year, new content, right?
Right.
That's kind of
Yeah.
that's kind of the mentality I have right now. Is I really feel like so I'm going to start. We're talking about for anybody that joined. We're talking about like content, and if you're a content creator on here, things that have worked for us. And so one of the things that I'm going to be doing with the new year is I'm going to be working on uh, educating myself further. There are a lot of individuals on Substack who have been incredibly successful, who offer, tips and, their experience in order to, help, educate you to improve your own skills. I'm going to be engaging with them much more as the year progresses. So that's going to be my 2026 is going to be, especially the beginning, the year of education for Kenyon in regards to Substack. I plan to master this platform, and right now I'm not at all. If anything, I'm still what are the God? I just forgot all of like the way it goes. It's like journeyman and then expert, whatever. I'm not even a
Oh
journeyman
yeah.
in that Substack. So
Like apprentice, journeyman, that
yeah,
kind
there
of
you go.
thing. Yeah.
Apprentice was a damn word I couldn't think of.
Oh yeah. I don't know the order that they all go in, but I know some of the terms at least. I don't know.
I think it's
But
apprentice, journeyman, master, depending on it. If you're talking about skills, I think that's the 3 skill levels
oh,
for
okay.
skill trades or whatever.
Okay.
So,
So where do
so what
you
about?
feel like you're at the apprentice level right now or the journeyman?
Oh yeah,
Where are you going?
apprentice.
Oh yeah.
I know enough to, keep myself out of trouble, so to speak, but growth itself has been elusive. I got lucky in the beginning, and so I grew rather quickly right off the bat through a couple of incredibly successful posts. Fast forward though to now, and growth has like mostly stagnated to the point of concern. And I theorize that part of that is due to the increase, the obvious influx of professionals joining Substack, such as, actors, Hollywood writers, politicians who are now, putting themselves on Substack, writing their own content. And so naturally, everybody's going over to support these individuals, which is contradictory to me because these individuals have already, garnished their wealth and already, had their success. And so
Yeah.
it's like regular individuals who are still seeking that, success as a writer now have to compete with the top level individuals in the world. And I
Yeah.
don't mind a little bit of competition, and I understand that you can't control who, joins your platform. Not only that, Substack wants these individuals on the platform. It helps the platform grow,
Right. Right.
you know. So it's not going to be outdoing these individuals. It's going to be doing something just different enough to garnish people's attention while also retaining the growth that you get, which is, a whole juggling act all in itself.
Well, I've heard from several different people that their growth is kind of plateaued too. So you're not the only one. Um. Oh yes, So joined. Hello, So.
Hello, so.
She is such a fun person. I was on a I she was on during my first week of lives, and we I sang in French and learned about her world and stuff. Wasn't the singing part for me. It didn't sound so great, but it was fun. But
Yeah, I tuned into that one. She was trying to teach you a little bit of
oh
French
yeah,
and to sing a little bit. Yeah.
right, yeah. So when you were
Yeah, I
talking
like her.
about oh sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now, you were talking about like learning from other Substackers and stuff. Are you talking about like as far as collaborating, doing more lives with them, or like writing articles with them, or how do you see that going?
A lot of them will already write the articles with advice based on their experience, what works for them, what they feel the algorithm looks for in a creator. So those types of articles exist out there already. There's also all encompassing, workshops and classes type thing, like through Udemy, where you can go and you can learn what are most algorithms looking for, what they want to see from creators in order to, push you to the top of the algorithm. So there is all sorts of things that an individual can do. It really does become a full-time job, and for me, that's fine because this is my full-time job. I already sit there and read and explore and listen all day long. That's where my articles come from, is simply content that I've read myself from a major publication or news organization. And then
Yeah.
I, translate it or relay the information the best I can back to my own readers. The problem is once again, finding those readers. And we have a few of them, you and I've noticed, who are incredibly loyal, comment on most of our stuff and engage with most of our content. It's getting those up higher. If you can, even if you can get 1,000, just 1,000 loyal readers, people that absolutely adore your content and will engage with it most of the time, that is at least a very good start, if not the finish line for some of us. I mean, 1,000 subscribers, if you had 1,000 paid subscribers at $5 a month, that's $50,000 a year just off of your writing and content. That's nothing to scoff at, especially right
Oh
now in
yeah.
this world.
Oh,
So
I would
that's,
be thrilled with that because I definitely don't make that now. As I'm a freelance writer. I do some gigs outside of Substack because I just can't rely on Substack for my total income. I wouldn't. I'd be in the hole,
yeah.
And so I have to find work outside of that for right now. It's not work that I really want to do, And I would love to rely on Substack for all of it, but I'm just not there yet. And it's really hard to not to compare yourself to other creators and stuff. And you look at other creators in your category, and they're doing so much better, and they're getting all these paid subscribers, like almost
Yeah.
some of them daily. And I'm like, I would be happy with one a week if I could get that,
Yeah.
And it's hard, it's hard to figure out what it is, and it's hard not to internalize it too. You're like, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing that I could be to get to that person's level, or to get to to do what that person's doing? And you know, that's it's still a question. But I mean, I'm trying a whole bunch of different things this year. Partway through the year, I started doing the baking, the cooking videos, and a lot of people seem
Good
to like
idea.
that. Yeah, well, thank
Fantastic
you.
idea. Yeah.
People seem to like them, and I've gotten paid subscribers from that. I look at my stats and I see how many paid subscribers I get with just from the articles or the notes or live videos and stuff. And I've had a decent amount from live videos. So that's kind of what prompted me to go in December to I'm going to go every day live in December and just see, as kind of partly as an experiment, to see, like, okay, is this what people want? Are people going to subscribe to me because of my live videos and the content from that? And most of the days that I'm going in December, I've got a guest on. I I wasn't sure as going into it. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill up the whole month with talking to different people. Most of the time I'm probably going to go by myself, but that's not the case. I've filled up, like, the first 2 weeks, Monday through Friday. I've always had a guest on. I'm having somebody on all this week too, and next week I've got at least a couple, probably two or three, but it's Christmas, so that'll affect things. But
Right.
yeah, I've been really lucky too. That's like, I had Ellie Leonard on with me one day, and anytime she goes on a live, she's got hundreds of people that watch. So that
Yeah.
really helped me. I mean, when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if you wanted to talk about your book, and it was, I wanted her to put out, uh, talk about it, because it's a really good book, and I've been reading it chapter by chapter as she's put it out. And but most of the time when she goes on lives and stuff, she's talking about the Epstein files and Trump and political stuff. And I said, well, do you want to take a break from that and talk about your book? And she said, yeah, I'd love to. And so that was great, and it helped me also, because those hundreds of people are seeing me at the same time that they're hearing about her book. So it was kind of a win-win, and mutually beneficial situation.
Yeah. Video is
But
definitely, I think, the future of engagement in general. Unfortunately, there does seem to be this disconnect with writing where there's a whole lot of people in our world that don't read at all. So, it's the people
yeah,
who do read are the more, generally intelligent, worldly type individuals. And so if you want to, get support from people who are not necessarily, um, readers, then you have to do content that speaks to a wider audience. So you don't want to be just, I don't know. I know that there are people I've run into in my life who have explicitly expressed that reading makes them feel dumb. And
mm,
so that tells me that they're probably not the only person out there that feels that way. And that's sad because I don't believe anybody is truly what you would call dumb. Everybody has value.
right,
There are people who have a higher level book intelligence, which is what I just meant just now. But everybody has, intricate value. They all have things that, matter that they can contribute to the world. If
Right.
words aren't your thing, I still want to talk to you. I still want to know you. I still want to, support you or garner your support for me. And so I think live videos are essential. I think that I've had a few people mention that they don't like the lives because the comments end up distracting them. So there is something to be
Yeah.
said about doing videos and posting those as well that aren't live. So there aren't going to be comments in the video itself. So that's something potential that I'm going to be looking at as the year goes on. Perhaps I will do something along the lines of a Substack Live type platform, but pre-recorded so that it can go in its own post still, and it also is going to not have the comments covering up my guest face or my own face. And so I do understand what people are saying with that. It can be a little bit distracting to have the comments constantly flowing, especially if you're watching from your phone,
Right. Yeah. If
so
you're watching from a computer, it's a lot different because the chat is off to the side and you can watch. And now it may be distracting peripherally seeing the comments go up on the side, but it's not covering up us. Like right now I've got my laptop open because it's a lot easier for me to read the comments on the laptop than it is trying to keep track of 'em on the phone. And but yeah, and now Substack has allowed us to go live from our laptops or computers, and we don't have to go from the phone, which was what
yeah,
I did last night. I did when I did my Mad Libs thing. It was partially since I was going on by myself. I was like, well, I might as well test this out. So I did my live from
yeah,
my laptop, and there's still like a window, like it shows you like people will see this in their phones, and but then there's a wider angle too where I guess if they're watching on their laptop they would see that. So that was interesting. I kind of like that. It was
yeah,
definitely a different experience than doing it on the phone. The benefit of doing it on the phone though is you can go live anywhere. You can be outside and be in an event and things like that. So that's really great. And I used that, this summer when I went to different Pride Fests and everything. I went live and just held my phone everywhere and was able to show what was going on at the Pride Fest and all that. And that was great. So I'm glad we have that option on the phone, but it is
yeah,
useful, I think, to have it now on the computer too. But
yeah. Well, and that's exactly what you pointed out there is I think that a large amount of people, especially if you're doing lives during business hours, they're going to be probably watching from their phone. So
yeah,
if you're and to clarify, because Kimberly just asked, a pre-recorded live that is it's kind of a contradiction. What I mean is the style of Substack Live, the top bottom or whatever, thin frame style by the 9 by 16 2 by 2. So, but in a pre-recorded, way so that it's not going to have the comments coming through the video itself. So just to clarify, I wasn't trying to be, wasn't, yeah.
so are you on YouTube? Do you post your stuff on YouTube?
I was when I was doing Kenyon's Meridian, but as soon as I stopped having any desire to chat with MAGA anymore, I quit
Hmm.
doing Kenyon's Meridian and I quit posting anything on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm on there, but I don't have a very big following. I don't have enough to monetize on there. I think you have to have like, I don't know, 1,000 subscribers or something like that, or so many hours
Probably.
watched, and I don't have that definitely. But I still, because it's so easy for on Substack, it just automatically uploads your videos to YouTube and LinkedIn, your clips and stuff. But the bad thing is I have to go to YouTube after that and click all the no, this isn't made for kids, and if it's age restricted, and click all these, you know, put the tags in and that kind of stuff. So that part is a little time consuming, and I wish I could, I don't know, wish I could automate that somehow. maybe there is a way, and I'm not knowledgeable enough in it to do it. But um, anyway,
Well, and
I am
Substack,
on YouTube.
yeah, Substack is competitive, but YouTube is the goddamn Coliseum. It's incredibly
Yeah,
competitive over there. I
yeah,
mean, right off the bat, you've got the number one YouTuber being like Mr. Beast, and good luck keeping up with that guy. I mean, at this point, that if you ever wanted to get to Mr. Beast level, you are going to have to work incredibly hard and get a little bit lucky on top of it. That's just the truth of the matter. And I do like Zuckerberg is not my favorite person. I don't fucking like Zuckerberg at all. But he did say something during a college ceremony, a speech one time during graduation, which caught my attention, and I've always remembered he said it. He said, "If we're being honest, all of this success for people like me is it does include a little bit of luck." And I do believe that. That's true. He was honest in that one instant, and he's never been honest before or since then. Because being successful on Substack or being successful on YouTube or being successful as an entrepreneur in general does involve a lot of hard work, but it also involves a little bit of luck. There are individuals out there who, through a sheer act of, fortune, were able to post one video and go viral, and now they
yeah.
have a few 100,000 subscribers to see their videos every time they post now. That does happen. I got lucky through a couple of posts right when I first started Substack, which allowed me to get up to a few thousand subscribers right off the bat. Since then, it's slowed down. Now it's going to be hard work. I could get lucky again. It could happen. It will
Yeah,
probably happen. If you go to Vegas and you play enough roulette, you're eventually going to land on the numbers you picked. But you're going to have to play enough of it. It's not like you can spin the table once at roulette and be like, oh, I lost. I'm not going to ever play again. You've got to spin 20 times with having your token on the one number before you'll actually win. Sometimes that's what social media and trying to be an entertainer is it's rolling the dice and hoping for snake eyes, and you're not always going to get them. And so,
right,
but sometimes
right.
when you do, it's beautiful, it's magical, it makes you feel good too. That's part of the allure as well, right? Is when you do have something that goes viral or something that goes even, semi-viral. Like I did have one post that ended up getting about 90,000 likes. And that
Oh
one,
wow.
and that'll make you feel good. It makes you feel like,
Yeah,
okay, maybe I have some potential to keep on doing this. And then the next post you post only gets 3 likes, and you're like, well, what the fuck happened?
right.
I feel like I used
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
same rules, the same guidelines, the same structure, and nobody fucking cares.
Well, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about like having dedicated subscribers and followers and stuff. Like you can have 10,000 subscribers, but every post you're not going to get 10,000 likes. All 10,000 of those people are not going to read every article of yours. And that I
Right.
discovered that on Medium too. I had a couple thousand subscribers there before well, I haven't left it. I'm still on there, but I'm not posting much there. But before I came to Substack, and I just wasn't getting as much engagement. I wasn't making as much money I as I could have. And if all 2,000 of those people read all of my articles, I probably wouldn't have left media. I wouldn't have come to Substack. Like I'd be making
Yeah.
plenty of money on there, and I wouldn't need anything else. And the same goes for the same goes for Substack not, I guess not in the same way, because your free subscribers, you, Substack doesn't pay you for the reads that you get. You actually have paid subscribers that subscribe specifically to your publication. But
Right.
yeah, it would help if a lot of your free subscribers were dedicated, and if they read more of your stuff and they said, you know what, I like what he's doing. I'm gonna subscribe. I'm gonna pay for a subscription. And so anyway, I was gonna say something about Kimberly asked something about in the chat. She said, um, asked about the recordings. Like, so I do the Substack live video. After the live is over, I will edit the post because I don't edit the video at all, but I add like my subscription buttons and kind of give a little summary of a little bit of what we talked about and say, subscribe if you like this, or have my offers or whatever, have my buy me a coffee link in there. I do all that kind of stuff. And I schedule it for a later date usually because I kind of like to spread it all out. I don't like, I do my articles on Monday and Wednesdays. And then I try to do, okay, since I already have an article on Monday, Wednesday, I'm going to post this live on Tuesday or Thursday or whatever, kind of spread it out. And
Right.
I also download the audio and I post it later as an audio podcast because I've noticed I started doing an audio podcast in January of this year. I started Substack December of last year and then started doing the audio podcast in January. And I've noticed like a lot of my audio podcasts were getting a bunch of downloads and stuff. There was one time where I was only at like, I don't know, like 500 subscribers or something like that. And this audio podcast episode got like 700 downloads or whatever, or 700 views. So
Yeah.
obviously, more people, I've got a different audience for the audio podcast. And I'm looking at my stats and everything, and it's being shown to, most of them are being shown on or being listened to on Apple Podcasts and not on the Substack app. Like, okay,
Right.
there's something going on. Like, it's being put out there beyond Substack, and other people are listening to it besides those people who are subscribed to my Substack. So that's why I continue to do this. The audio podcast seemed to be a different audience. So I continue to download the audio and post that separately as an audio podcast because apparently it's reaching other people. And
Yeah, and that's fair. That's a good, and I mean, you get to a certain point with, I mean, if you're getting enough views and stuff on most of those, eventually they'll start to pay you. Or the alternative is you end up being able to have enough viewers, listeners that you can appeal to. There's certain, there's certain sites you can go to and put in your credentials and they'll find you advertising, you know.
oh,
So
right.
even for smaller content creators, but you have to have an average of, 1,000 or two, whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know what the exact numbers are. You do have to have an average of a certain amount for them to be able to find people which fit your brand. And so
Right.
that's another potential form of, income, is if you can, like you're saying, get your audio podcasts enough to where people are listening to them enough to where, like, right now you might be like, do you enjoy nice skin? Well, check out, Reveille's brand new, skin cream for, men, or whatever. And then, we'll
Yeah.
go back to talking, and then they'll fucking pay you for it. So,
Right. Yeah. And I thought
and
about that. I was thought about like I could reach out to companies or whatever, but I'm just not at that level. I don't feel like I don't have an average number of subscribers that advertisers would probably look at and be like, "Oh, we want him to advertise our stuff." But I hope I would eventually get there, and maybe I need to do more of it. I just do a audio podcast once a week, and I only do like a baking video probably only once a week. Reveille, oh yeah, I saw that movie. Reveille,
I combine
it's
like
a
two
new
different makeup
company.
companies. Okay.
Revlon and Olay. Yeah,
Yeah,
Reveille.
see, that's exactly. I
Yeah,
combined two different.
yeah.
I knew it wasn't right while I was saying it, but I'm like, I don't fucking care. They'll understand.
Oh yeah. So I mean, you can make up a company. Well, we don't want to advertise for a certain company if they're not paying for us. So we're going to make up our own names.
Exactly. See, and I love making up words. That's one of my favorite things to do in the world. I don't know
Oh
if
yes.
I love making up words. I love it. It's Yep. Creature names, words, people's names. I love all of that. That's one of my favorite parts of creating is making up new. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you planning on doing more live videos going into 2026?
I've been considering it. It's not a bad idea necessarily. I've already had a little bit of practice interviewing MAGA, and if I can act like I care about what they have to say, I'm pretty sure that I can actually show interest in people I care about. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
because that's a lot of the things like I still want to talk to, conservative individuals and right leaning people because I do want to know what they have to say. That's why I do engage with the more, um, rational, conservatives that do come across my page. But if it's an individual who's, completely irrational, I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, block. There's absolutely no point in sitting there and trying to rationalize with an individual who's just going to repeat over and over again, fuck Biden, Trump's a god, it's essentially, and that's what some of them are, and I have
yeah,
no desire to sit there and hear that over and over again. I get it. You worship an orange billionaire from New York. Save us, spare us, please.
yeah. Well,
And so that's, yeah.
I can imagine that would be an appealing video to watch. Like if you were interviewing conservative or MAGA type people, and at least if you had like if they were able to have a rational discussion with you back and forth, I would think that would be kind of an interesting watch. You know what I mean? Um, if you were
Yeah,
getting people willing
it
to
was,
do that.
yeah, it wasn't, I was getting views and stuff. And I have a few people here in Idaho that I know that would love, they still would come on my show, some very conservative figures, but it becomes this thing where I don't want to give them any more of a platform than they already have because it's not like they're
Yeah,
platforming me, you know?
yeah,
It's not like most of them aren't going to sit there and share my opinions and go out of their way to give me a place to speak. And so why should I return the favor to individuals who are doing nothing but trying to cause division in a nation and
right.
state that I absolutely love?
Well, that's the thing.
So
I guess you would have to be a little more discerning about who you had on, and if they were more, like I said, had a more rational discussion with them, and they were a little at least open minded enough to hear you out, and vice versa. But
yeah. Well, and
yeah, that would be hard.
I did pick most of my guests very carefully. There's an individual who I had the opportunity to interview. It was towards when I was getting to a point where I'm like, there's no reason to keep interviewing these people. They're saying the same things over and over again. I
Yeah.
don't need a bunch of them. I just need one that's coherent. But there was an individual who he's well known in Idaho who I had the opportunity to interview, and I actually turned him down twice because he's just too far right. He's just an individual who's like, he's one of those types that's like, women should only be in the kitchen and cooking and
Oh yeah.
raising, children, and, men should be manly men and kill their food and farm their land. And it's like, okay, dude, that's fine. If that's your choice in life, sincerely, if that's your choice in life, good for you. I support you. I love that that's your choice for life, but it's not going to be everyone's. And
Right.
if you think everyone should adhere to your principles, then you're wrong. Like that's it. You're wrong. There's no other way to put it. That's not freedom. That's not liberty. That's control.
Yeah. Yeah. If that's you, vaya con Dios. Go with God and have a nice life. But I'm not helping you out with that.
Exactly. So I do want to speak to more coherent MAGA type individuals. I have a few people that I've interacted with online the last, few months that seem like people I would like to hear more about. There's another individual who I did a job for a few months back who is a constitutional monarchist. So they believe that our government should be a constitutional monarchy. And he's a really interesting individual. He has written several books. He is ex Green Beret. So he is actually the Green Berets. I don't know most people. I don't know what people know and don't know in this regard. So I'm going to over explain just a little bit. Green Berets are essentially like a propaganda type unit of the military, to where they, go in and they try to work on intelligence and gathering information and then producing information in a region to, achieve their goals in said region. So, he has experience with the ins and outs of government and their, manipulations on people. And so he's way more conservative than I am. Way more conservative than most people I know, but he's not really a MAGA at the same time. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
there's another guy he's incredibly conservative. He works for one of the richest conservatives in Idaho, one of the richest people in Idaho. And he's an individual who's very interesting. He pisses off all the MAGA conservatives constantly. But he's a little bit more hard to get because not only is he busy, he's had active threats against his life as well from these individuals. And they've gone as far to like follow him like out of the state. So, when he goes on vacation, he's had them follow him and like taking pictures of where he's staying and stuff. And he actually had to like sue and press charges against the people who were doing it. Yeah, Kimberly's right. MAGA does not equal conservative. And that's the thing is if you live in a liberal state, right, and you see MAGA and you see where most conservatives, especially the loud ones, are MAGA type individuals, you start to believe that there are no conservatives who aren't fucking MAGA. But that's just not the
Yeah.
case. In Idaho, there are, conservatives who are good human beings. They love their family. It's not an indicator of if you're good or not, but they, go to church. They believe in, inclusion and treating all people equally based on their individual actions. They still exist, but they have been just overwhelmed and outmaneuvered by MAGA over and over again to the point where people don't hear from them or see them anymore. And
Yeah.
so that's something I want to give those type of conservatives a platform, but they're fucking scared because if they admit, no, I'm not MAGA, I don't support Trump, I don't agree with him, then if they're a politician, they lose a lot of their voter base. If they're a
Yeah.
conservative in their community, then all of a sudden they're getting, questioned and attacked by fellow conservatives in their community over their opinions. So but they do exist. Like our ex-attorney general for Idaho, a couple attorney generals ago, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he is an individual who is incredibly rational. He's reasonable and he fucking hates MAGA. He
Oh, yeah.
hates I mean, he just hates, he would be mad that I said the word hate, but he despises MAGA and their rhetoric and their manipulative, ways. And I don't blame him. Who besides MAGA, who fucking loves MAGA, right?
Yeah. That's the thing about the political writing. It can be very um, volatile and kind of hard to navigate. But I know you said in one of our earlier discussions that you were kind of um, going away from that type of writing and stuff. And so going back to what we're doing and kind of going into the new year, going into 2026, like one of the things I wanted to point out, Kimberly earlier said someone once said that the trick is to offer something that people need. And sometimes for me, I provide more entertainment than anything else. And while the recipes, I do the cooking videos and everything, and I think that's helpful for some people. They want to learn new ways of doing things and tips and tricks and that kind of thing. And sometimes people need a break from the politics. People need
Yeah,
some humor, and something other than what they have to face on the news every day. And I feel like that's where my niche is, and that's where I'd like to continue to go in 2026 if I see that that's what people want, I guess, because
yeah,
I'm doing it as a way to try to earn a living. So I'm, I do want I want to do something that's popular enough that people will uh, pay for it. But you know, I
Cat
also
attack.
wanted. I also so rude sometimes. She's just like, whatever. You're filming. So what?
She's like, I might be able to sneak in getting 37 people to look at my butt. That's Cat's
Yeah, yeah,
dream, right?
yeah, yeah. She's done that before. I've had to like, oh, don't show that. What are you doing?
That's
Such
funny.
a
Cats,
hussy
what is it with
sometimes.
cats
She's just
loving to
like,
show their butts?
I don't know, but man.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, no,
O-
sorry. I don't remember what was going on. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
only mouthy. Only subs.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's another thing I thought about. So I don't know if you've delved into the world of kind of only Substack kind of thing, but there's definitely some Substacks out there. They're nudists and things like that that are just putting it all out there. I've thought about doing that, like going with a second publication though, like a a private one, and maybe not showing my face or anything. But I don't know. That's because those people have a lot of followers, and
Yeah.
they seem to get a lot of uh, garner a lot of views. But
Oh, yeah. Sex
I
sells.
don't know if I
Uh,
would ever done that.
I think it's not like the
Yeah.
number one rule of marketing. Sex sells.
Oh, Kimberly says, "Could y'all lower the volume a bit? I'm walking around campus and students are looking."
Yeah, no, sorry, honey, it's not gonna happen. And
Well,
I called her honey because that's my girlfriend, by the way. I'm not.
yeah, yeah,
I just realized. I swear
yeah.
to
I
God,
guess it's for
I'm not one of those guys that's like calling every girl honey. I swear to fucking
right,
God, I
right. Well, she needs put in earbuds. We were talking about earbuds earlier. She needs those.
yeah,
Oh yeah, showing it
yeah.
in your butthole. We're talking about cats though. Cats showing their buttholes. Cat butts.
That's funny. Well, and you brought up an excellent point regarding like I do want to interview more people of on the political spectrum in some regards. But I also want to interview people like I had a person comment earlier on my post on my most recent article about internet safety and security, and they
Mm.
happen to work in that sector. I'd
Oh
love
yeah,
to hear more from them. One on one in a conversation or other people like them.
yeah.
There's individuals out there who are, travelers who've traveled the world. I'd love to question them about their travels. There's artists, there's, entertainers, there's people who are incredibly successful at what they've done. Scientists. That's my biggest one. You know how fucking elusive scientists are? They are insanely hard to get a hold of or to get to want to be on your show. They are so
Well, yeah.
hard. It's the hardest
It seems
demographic.
I can understand that though, because there are a lot of people who are, of high intelligence. They're not very good at the social aspect. And so I think they kind of have a fear of, the social interaction. And,
Yeah,
they can write papers and they can talk about, um, certain things in their area of expertise, but going on video, I think they probably, so a lot of them at least, probably get stage fright and they don't know how to have a normal conversation with somebody, which,
yeah.
sometimes I have trouble having a normal conversation with somebody. So, I
You
stumble
know
over
who's a
my
good
words
person to
sometimes.
talk to? If you get a chance ever, anybody who's in this chat, if you get a chance to, Joe Exotic is incredibly easy to talk to. He was the most easy guest I had the entire time I was doing Kenyon's Meridian.
Oh, I
He's
didn't know you ever talked to him. That's cool.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple times. I still talk to him occasionally on X because that's where he hangs out most of the time. So like
Oh, yeah.
we'll still talk. And I created him some propaganda, some free Joe propaganda just for funsies and stuff. And donated a little when I had some money to donate to his lawyer fees and stuff. But he's incredibly easy to talk to. I was incredibly shocked. I was nervous at first because I'm like, this is the biggest celebrity I've ever been able to, have a
Yeah,
conversation with. And so I was incredibly nervous, but it was easy. He's, just like I always suspected my whole life, they're just people. Imagine that, right?
yeah. Well, I've tried to reach out to a couple of people. When Joseph Gordon-Levitt first got on Substack, I sent him a message, and I was like,
Me too.
why? Oh, you did?
I did. I love him. I'm like, I want to talk to you, dude.
I know. I love him too. He talks a lot about AI and about trying to. He's advocating for creators to be compensated when AI uses their work and stuff like that. And he's doing a great job on here, and he doesn't paywall any of his stuff. He goes on live videos sometimes and talks with different people, and I just love him. So yeah, I try to reach out to him. I also try to reach out to there's this chef, and he's gay, but I sent him a message. He's been on several different talk shows, Kelly Clarkson and Live with Kelly and Mark and Today Show. And just he's a celebrity chef basically. And I didn't get a response from either of them, which I didn't really expect to. And I figured they probably have PR people that handle all that kind of stuff, and they're likely not going to respond themselves back to me. But I still like to take the chance. I was like, maybe one of these people, one of these times, one of these attempts is going to get me I'm going to get lucky with one of these and have somebody
Yeah.
on there.
You miss
But I have
100% of the
talked
shots
to.
you don't take.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? It's not going to hurt
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Why
But
not? Why
yeah,
not? That's, yeah. Good.
sorry. No, this month I've been talking to, a bunch. Like I said, I've had a guest on Monday through Friday for the last 2 weeks, and including this week. And I've had just a variety of different subjects. I talked with something different with everybody. I had So-So's in here. I talked to her. Oh, we already talked about that. Yeah, it's singing in French. Talked to Ellie Leonard about her book. I'm talking to Christy Keller tomorrow, and Ginger Cook is coming on Thursday. She's never been on a live before. She is so funny. She's just hilarious. So I've had there are at least three or four people this month that have never been on a live before, and they're coming on with me. So I feel kind of special. Like I'm introducing them to the live Substack world. So I'm really grateful for that. And Ben Yalancy, I saw him come in. I saw you, Ben.
Yep. We saw you,
But
Ben. We
I'm
see you.
yeah.
Fucking see you,
I'm going to
bro.
be on with he and Walter on their Escapist Delights. I've been on before, but I'm going to be on this Thursday, I believe, the 18th. So we're going to be talking about holiday movies, I believe. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
Ben isn't actually, Ben doesn't actually exist, by the way. He's an AI program that Walter
he
invented to have someone to talk to.
he knew he knew you were going to say that. He before you started saying it, he said, "I'm real."
See, the only people that aren't real would try to convince you they're
Yeah,
real. I mean,
yeah.
come
He
on.
knew he had to put out that disclaimer before you even said it.
Yeah, he is. He's an artificial program that Walter came up with in order to have someone to talk to on his own Substack Live. So Ben
Well,
isn't actually real. I've seen the programming; it's really intricate, and I'm proud of Walter for doing it. I don't know why he wouldn't tell people he did it. He'd probably
well,
get more famous by being like, "I created the perfect AI."
unfortunately, I met him in person, so I can say that he is not
Damn it!
a robot.
Damn it! There goes
Yeah,
my. But
I
birds aren't
know.
real. Birds aren't real.com. That's a real thing.
Oh yeah,
Have you never heard of that? There are people who believe
birds
that
aren't
birds
real.
are not real. Seriously, I swear to God, it's worse than the flat earthers. They really believe that birds are little robots sent out by the government to spy on people.
Oh my gosh, all birds
Yeah,
like chickens, geese, and
probably.
Mm,
Probably. I've never cared to really like question them about their beliefs because I just can't stop laughing long enough to do so. Same reason I've never engaged with flat earthers. I'm like, I can't. I just cannot. I will hurt your feelings by
that's,
laughing in your stupid face.
I mean, that's just way out. That's too much. Come on.
It is. I know. It's ridiculous. It's funny the things that like some people believe. It's well, I mean, for
Oh,
God's sake, look who's in
Ben
charge
said
of
that
our health.
was, he said that was just the latest model. Very convincing. The one I met was the latest AI model. That's what it was. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that
that
makes
was
sense.
very convincing.
Yeah, that see, I told you. I mean, I was right on. I mean, I have some
Wow.
instincts for this, and I saw it. So it's
Well, you know what? He didn't go. We were at the beach and he didn't go into the ocean. So that makes
yeah,
sense. He didn't want to
yeah.
mess up his, his,
The
um,
waterproofing is still rudimentary.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
I should have known.
yep,
Well,
yep. So, well, anyway, so ultimately,
where did we
ultimately, you
go?
know, yeah. Conversations like this are definitely entertaining. So that's a good start, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Uncle
Yeah.
Noggy. I like Uncle Noggy. That's a really fun and cool person. If you've never interacted with them at all, Uncle
Oh,
Noggy's fun.
no, that is a new name for me, I think. I've never seen that one.
Is it Uncle Noggy? I wonder. I don't know. Like,
Uncle
what would it be?
Nagi.
Noji, maybe? Uncle
Nagi.
Noji?
Nagi.
Nagasaki. Uncle Nagasaki.
Gotta be short for something. I can't think of what it would be though.
Uncle Noggin Rubber? Because our uncle's known for rubbing noggins. Get over here,
Oh,
champ.
oh, that could
I have
be.
no idea what it stands for.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye,
Well,
Kimberly. Have fun at
yeah,
work. See you when you
goodbye,
get home.
Kimberly.
It's finals week at BSU, so she's busy
Oh,
taking
okay.
finals.
Well, I don't know if we really got to, talking about all our, strategies. I was going to talk about notes and how what's been bringing in subs versus like articles versus live video. I don't know, we didn't
you,
get to all that, but maybe we
dude,
can do it another day.
you will never, if you have me as a guest, you will never be able to stay on topic with me. I'm sorry. I am so scatterbrained and my mind just
Oh
constantly is
no,
pinging and
I think it's fine. I don't do scripts for any of my life. I usually write down a few notes just to kind of remember what I wanted to talk about, because once I get on here, sometimes I forget. Everything goes out the window. Like, wait a minute, there was something I was going to say. What? So I do have to write things down just because my mind doesn't work very well, and I have to write them down to remember it. But other than
nah.
that, I don't do like scripted notes or anything. I just kind of, just little topics. I'm like, okay, I wanted to hit this while we were talking and blah blah blah. But yeah, as you can tell, if you listen to my audio podcast, especially with my friend Allie, and we've been eating a THC chocolate or something like that. My gosh, all sorts of different topics. We just go up. She especially, I'm going to blame it on her. She goes off on all kinds of different things. And sometimes I'm like, where did that come from? Where did we start and how did we get here? It's,
Well, I'm convinced. I used to think that it was something that inhibited me, but I'm now convinced that ADD, ADHD, whatever it is an actual superpower. Uh,
oh yeah,
trying
might
trying
as
trying
well.
to fight it made me not be able to multitask. And so now that I've completely embraced it, like I can have six things going at once and still get stuff done. So I,
Oh
I
yeah,
prefer
use it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do it.
I much prefer that.
Well, we've gone over an hour, but you know, I it's I try not to go too far and over an hour because start losing people.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I don't know, but I'm
It's
sure
funny.
we both
We
have things.
literally just had three people join. We're about ready to
I
sign
Yeah,
off. We just have
you know,
three people join.
that's what I did on my first live at the Kansas City Pride Fest. I planned on only being on there for an hour, and people kept joining. I was like, well, I can't just log off now. I got to keep going. And,
Yeah.
actually, toward the end, I was on there for like almost 2 hours. And toward the end, I got a paid subscriber from it. I was like, well, it's a good thing I didn't cut it off in an hour, because I wouldn't have gained
See?
that one.
See?
So
See?
I,
Fair enough.
but
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not
Once
going to go
again,
all
go,
day though.
yeah.
I mean, that's just, I got to get
we,
something done.
you know what might be fun? I think did Lawrence and Dana do, no,
Oh, the
they went,
marathon?
yeah, they
Is
went
that
for
what?
like ever one day, didn't they?
Yes, yes. They did like a
Yeah.
24-hour one, but they had other guests and they switched on and off. So yeah, oh, that would be difficult, I think.
You might, you know what might be fun for you as an idea for you as an individual because of like some of your other content,
What?
strip live, like not all the way down
All
obviously, right, but
right.
like the no, not right now, you gotta
Oh,
let people
oh,
pay first.
oh, sorry, sorry.
Listen to the rest of my idea before you
Oh,
start
sorry.
getting
You
naked,
said you
Brandon.
said strip,
That
and
was,
I'm ready to go.
dude, that was way too easy. I mean, so so you do a Substack live in which every time someone gives you a paid upgrade, you take off an article of clothing.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like the OnlyFans thing, or like, so there's some uh, well, like TikTok, even they don't go naked because TikTok wouldn't allow that, but they do. Like, I was watching some TikTok lives last night. I mean, accidentally stumbled on one that this guy was, he took off his shirt and he was flexing and stuff. The thing is, though, a lot of those, they don't offer anything other than just, you watch them flexing and take off their shirt. They're like, yeah, thanks for the likes. Hit that like button.
Yeah.
Give me a gift. Blah blah blah. It's like that's all they're doing the whole time. They're just flexing. They're not offering anything substantial. And I'm like, I guess if that's what people want to pay for, but I don't feel like I want to do that kind of thing. I gotta do more than just that. But anyway,
Yeah, no, it's if you're, yeah, I'm not too into that kind of stuff. Just stuff like that that's just there for the sake of being a naked body, you know? Yeah.
right?
That's,
Yeah,
to me personally, I'm just not into that. But if there's like something funny, like with your, there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
goal in mind, and
Right.
so
Well, then it goes. I mean, if it went along with my brand, I mean, being humor and satirical and stuff like that, if it fit in with that, then it would make sense.
yeah. Well,
But
no, Ben. The worst advice for someone in a well is it puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. That's horrible advice. It really is because the more lotion you put on the skin, the closer you get to having your skin cut off.
I guess before you get into the well, bring an umbrella.
Yeah. Fair. That's good advice. Just refuse. If you guys ever get trapped by a psychopath, refuse to do whatever they say. Do not do what they say, and do not get scared. Do not scream. Like, holy crap! Like that's a movie, man.
Just take the hose. Take the hose. It's just
Yeah,
water. Bring it
exactly.
on.
Shower in it. Shower in it. La, da,
Yeah.
da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I've been in
I
here for a
mean,
few days. Thanks for the clean.
right, right. Well, on that note,
On that
um,
note,
maybe we should, maybe it's time to cut this off. Well,
yeah.
I
All right.
appreciate
Fair
you
enough.
again coming back for this is the third week in a row, right? That you've been back with me. I really
Yep.
appreciate you being on, and I enjoy our conversations,
Me
and
too.
I hope we'll do it again.
We will.
So
Next week.
you can, you can
I
catch
told
me.
you. I gave you my
I
word
know.
I'd be here
Well,
with you at least once a week for December, and
right.
I'm not going to lie to you. So,
Yeah. And I'm not going to hold you to, if you're busy or something. I totally understand that, but I really do appreciate it. But if you're in the chat and you haven't subscribed to KR Byers or Brandon Ellrich is so gay. Please do so, and
do so.
we both of us would very much appreciate it.
Yeah,
and
and if you
and
want to
you
watch
can,
Brandon strip, make sure to tune into all of his Substack lives and just start talking him into it, in the comments, being like, take something off, baby. He's
yeah,
I
I
just
need.
showed that he's really he will.
I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna hold back. I need more people to convince me. All
All
right.
right.
Well, if you
Well,
can catch me again tomorrow, but other than that, I guess we'll see you all later.
see you later. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.